Hey, it's Christmas, guys. What's up, the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today it is December 25th in 2023. It's Christmas, and you know what that means? That means it's time to spread some negativity. And today I'm going to be doing the worst albums of 2023 list, the top 20 worst albums. Usually I do top 15, but this year there are just so many bad albums that I have to expand it to a top 20. Yeah, without further ado, let's start off with the dishonorable mentions. We have two albums that didn't make it to the list, but I would still like to mention them because I'm a mean person. The first one being Rae Sremmurd's Sremm for Life, which is a very boring album, very bloated. Then we have Ashnikko's Weedkiller, which is this very overproduced, edgy art pop album. Certainly not the last edgy, overproduced art pop album I'm going to be mentioning in this list. So now we have the top 20. At number 20, I'm giving it to my enemy, my mortal enemies, the Chainsmokers, with Summertime Friends. And yeah, the Chainsmokers is back with another helping of generic, basic electronic music made for babies. And I think, however, the greatest offense this album has made is really the album cover. This is literally illegal. This is a violation of the Convention of Geneva or something. This is terrible. Don't do this again. I swear to God, next time they make an album cover, it's going to be like, I don't know, like a David Lynch reference or something. It's, oh my God. Oh. Okay. At number 19, I'm giving it to NF with Hope. Christian rapper NF is back with an album called Hope, spitting bars like lyrical, miracle, spiritual, individual bars, and also just the drama, the melodramatic raps. They're so epic. They're so dramatic for no reason whatsoever, and it's just such an elitist album. It's so self-important. NF holds himself at a very high regard, and it's his attitude that makes this album kind of bad. At number 18, I'm giving it to Owl City with Coco Moon. Um, yeah, this album is stuck in the 2000s. It's stuck in the 2000s. It just cannot move on, and it's so cartoony for some reason. Everything about this album feels like it came out of a Disney movie or something. It's very animated. It's so cutesy and lovey-dovey in the most plasticky, cutesy, icky way possible that it's just kind of repulsing. And then at number 17, I'm giving it to the Italian rock band Måneskin with Rush exclamation mark, which is the band just banging out, burping out, slurping out, pumping out, pumping out one rock banger jam after another, and they're all so generic. They're all so average. They're also dime a dozen. And also, we have some really awkward and questionable lyrics on this album that I just don't want to get into because they're very gross. So there's that. And then at number 16, I have to give it to my main man, Melanie Martinez, with Portals. And again, this is the other edgy, overproduced art pop album I was talking about. And this becomes even uh, weirder of an album when you hear all of the self-importance and the just the lack of self-awareness that this album has. It's so edgy, it's so faux deep, it's trying to say something meaningful about life and death and like sexuality, and it's just failing on all fronts. It's just a big disappointment. Number 15, this is a pretty special entry because none of you have heard of this album before, but in my attempt to diversify my worst albums and worst songs list, I also have to include albums and songs from Hong Kong, my hometown. And here we have a Hong Kong rap album, Rae Law with 00. This album is truly an abomination, and not only is it a very generic basic rap album where half Australian, half Hong Konger rapper Rae Law tries her very best to imitate every basic rapper in the US ever and just combine them into one person, but also the lyrics are so basic and it's so sassy and cool with itself that it just completely lacks any lick of self-awareness, that it becomes obnoxious. Some of the hooks on this album are annoying as hell. So this is definitely not the right step in the musical direction of the Hong Kong music industry. Number 14, I'm giving it to 30 Seconds to Mars with It's the End of the World, but It's a Beautiful Day. Wow, what a meaningful title. Wow. So, yeah, this album is, 30 Seconds to Mars, their last album, is already really cringy. This one is just as cringy. The first track to this album, Stuck, is gross and overproduced, and it explodes, but hilariously, the rest of the album is just boring. It's very boring, it plays very safe, and that leads to our number 13 spot, Lil Pump 2. Also very boring. But also, there's that one track where he tries to sing heavy metal. Yeah, please don't do that ever again. Just please don't. And then at number 12, on a similar vein, we have the new 6ix9ine album, Leyende Viva, which is 6ix9ine essentially, instead of doing these shouty raps, this time he's just doing a straight up reggaeton album, and it's the most boring, whitewashed, gentrified reggaeton album you will ever hear. I mean, yeah, prison changes a man. Prison changes a man. They do. And then at number 11, it's AJR with The Maybe Man. They're lucky. They're lucky that they're not even in the top 10. But yeah, I just cannot. This album is just... I swear to God, if they release another Disney cartoony album about issues, about actual trauma and, actual mental health issues, but they turn it into cartoon, they turn it into a Pixar movie, and it's all sunshine and rainbows and marshmallows. That is AJR in a nutshell. Okay, now we have the top 10. Number 10, I'm giving it to the country legend himself, Hardy, with The Mockingbird and The Crow. And it goes like this. Baby, what you think about getting out of here? So we have this album cover, and it's a double album, and we have The Mockingbird on the left side, where he shows his soft side. He's a very nice guy. He's a nice gentleman. And then we have the Crow. When he's angry, he turns into the Crow, and he fights people now, and he's a monster. He's mean, and he's strong, and that's the album in a nutshell. And really, you would think that he would go hard because he's Hardy. But really, most of the lyrics on this album deal with trucks and beers and Walmart and picking up girls from a bar and, having this weird power fantasy about saving girls from abusive husbands and just stuff like that. And it's just one very shameless country album. Number 9, I'm giving it to Macklemore's new album, Ben, that's his name. Wow, that's so crazy. Such an original album title. Wow. We've seen it all before.
sweat falls down to the floor.
So Macklemore, I mean, I don't want to bully the guy. I mean, he seems like a nice person, but he just can't stop coming out with bad music, I guess. Because Ben, in one hand, is extremely boring. It's just like there are no new ideas whatsoever, very uninspired. On another hand, it's the same melodramatic, epic, watered down, mind numbing music that he's been making and turn up to 11 basically. This album is just one dud after another. It's so long as well. You know, when albums are bad, at least keep it short, you know. So that's probably why 6 9 is not in the top 10, because at least his album was short. Macklemore, however, on the other hand, very long, and just did not like it. And then there's these like dance tracks, like 1984, like, oh yeah, let me dance like it's 1984. Yeah, whatever that really means. Okay, number 8, we have the new Wyatt James album, Fuck Eating on the Weekend.
Large rocks and coal. I'm on fire lately, but I won't stop, drop, and roll. But
he's a relatively small artist, and I feel bad for putting him here because it's clear that he's trying. So at least that's that. But he's discount Eminem. He's just discount Eminem. His flows are awkward. His deliveries are awkward. The beats sound like they're made in 10 minutes. The lyrics are moronic at times. It's just it's just bad. It's just really, really bad. And there really isn't much else to it. I look forward to his next album. Maybe he's going to come up with a really good album next time. Who knows? But for now, this one is just not good. Number 7. This one is going to be controversial. A lot of people will threaten to assassinate me for this, but I just have to put it here. And it is the new Sleep Token album, Take Me Back to Eden. Yeah, I guess it just depends. If you're currently in a very, very low place in your life and you want to hear something that's gonna pick you up emotionally and, you know, motivate you, don't listen to this album, because this album is just going to piss you off. Yeah, this is the most epic sounding album of the year, I guess. Yeah, pretty much. It's so epic. It's so overblown. It's so badass, but then it hits you with these will you love me shit, like these cutesy ballads. It's like watered down metal. It's like take heavy metal, but then strip away all the elements that make heavy metal cool, and then you just get this weird, awkward skeleton that you can't really define what genre it is, because at times it's pop and at times it's metal, at times it's just epic movie soundtracks. So that's basically Sleep Token. Number 6, I'm feeling Waterparks Intellectual Property. They try every genre on this album, but they all just clash together and fail. This album is literally them throwing everything into the kitchen sink, and none of them works. It's a mess. It's just a stinky, gigantic pile of mess, where we have one very overblown song after another with very basic lyrics. And again, same criticisms I have with other albums. It's bloated, it's underwritten, it's badly produced, it's weirdly mixed. Now we enter the top 5. At number 5, we have the new Roger Waters album, The Dark Side of the Moon, Redux.
Money, it's a gas.
So yeah, this is Roger Waters, one of the most important figures in rock music history, and also one of the members of Pink Floyd, also one of the most important bands in rock music history, comes back to do a Redux version of the classic album, The Dark Side of the Moon, and turning it into this torturous ASMR experience where on every single track he just very slowly narrates like he's running out of breath. And it's hilarious. But the more you listen to the album, it just gets stale. It just gets really annoying. And you're just thinking to yourself, why? Why ruining an already perfect album with this album? It's torturous. And some of the revisions of the tracks, like The Great Gig in the Sky, originally the track is a beautiful explosion of vocals, but the new version is just more narration, more spoken word, and then On the Run is now narrowed down into more basic spoken word instead of the busy bustly electronics that is the original. So yeah, it's ruined. Rip. Number 4, Louis Capaldi, Broken by Desire to be Heavenly Sent. Wow, what a title.
He said this, haven't you ever been in love?
What a fancy album title for such a basic album, where on literally every single track he just cries and whines about something. It's so whiny, it's so rambly, it's also so average that it becomes annoying as hell. But also I just hate it when music just gets so emotional from beginning to end without any rhyme or reason. It's not rewarding. It's just purely sappy melodramatic ballads for a whole album straight. Like, imagine getting trapped in a car while this album plays. I would probably want to die. And then now we have number 3, which is actually an EP, but it's so bad that I sort of have to include it on this list, and it would be the new Dream EP, To Whoever Wants to Hear. What a nice title, like, To Whoever Wants to Hear. Like, if you don't want to hear it, just don't, but if you do though, hey.
Nothing else but right here, right now. So high like I'm on Everest.
Yeah, again, I don't want to bully this guy. This guy has already received too much hate from the internet already. I don't love him, I don't hate him. Just leave him alone. But Dream, like, who is it his idea or whose idea is it to put him in a recording booth? Who did that? Why? Why are you doing this to us? The songs on this album are like the most basic AI generated songs you'll hear all year, but also the track Everest, Everest, and then like the album ending, which is very controversial because he sings about Technoblade's passing, which is very impactful. When Technoblade passed away last year, I was shocked, and he is one of the first few YouTubers I've ever subscribed to, and I was heartbroken by it. But to turn it into a cool poppy song is just not the answer. And the music video where 2 actors reenact their duel is just so distasteful and so tone deaf. It's just disrespectful in my opinion. So yeah, whatever Dream's up to on this album is not only are the songs bad, but also some of it are straight up disrespectful. My hair is absolutely fucked. Like, I'm gonna wear a hat or something. I don't know. And that leads to number 2. Number 2, worst album of the year. Gotta give it to my boy Tom MacDonald and Adam Calhoun with The Brave 2.
White folks, I'm embarrassed. Some of y'all are such Karens. That prejudice you inherited was racism from your parents. Get that?
I don't have to explain too much because the Brave 1 is already on last year's list, so the Brave 2 naturally will end up on this list. They have released another album where we have one track after another on top of some very terrible generic beats, and they rap like Eminem again with the lyrical miracle spiritual individual, and they rap about how much the liberals are destroying America and how much the Democrats are destroying America, and how bringing kids, teaching kids about LGBTQ are ruining their lives, and then this talking point and that talking point and this talking. They're just recycling your average right-wing Republican talking point into music again for the umpteenth time. And they're trying to, with the American flag in the album cover, they're trying to save America. They're trying to fight for America. The thing is, Tom MacDonald isn't even American. He's a Canadian. And the truth about this album is that it's a lie. This album is one big fat lie. Because Adam Calhoun and Tom MacDonald probably doesn't even really care or believe in what they're rapping about. They're doing this just so that they can sell out to the right wing, so that, truck drivers and the Deep South can be like, I don't listen to that rap music shit, but this, oh yeah. Because they're essentially just trolls. Tom MacDonald and Adam Calhoun are just two trolls trying to capitalize on a specific audience and pumping out the same song again and again and again. It's literally all the songs on this album sound exactly the same. So it's very dumb, it's a lie, and it's a very bad lie. And that moves on to the worst album of the year. Drumroll, please. Fake Type, Fake Swing 2. So yeah, if you have watched Brad Taste in Music's videos, you know this is his worst album of the year. Same here. I only know about this album because of him, I'm going to be honest here. And yes, I do agree that this is terrible. This is the most insufferable, painful to listen to album of the year. It is a Japanese album, an electro swing album, and it's like, it's so bad. It's like clown music. It's like, clown with the squeaky nose and the ooh and the little dances. This is exactly the album that captures that. Every single track sounds the same. You cannot tell when a track starts and when it ends. This album just sounds like one very long song, and every single second they give you a chord change. It's so hideous, it's so tacky, it's just the most insufferable thing you'll hear all year. This thing is torture, it's actual insanity. Nobody in the right mind will be able to stomach this. It's so goofy, it's so silly, it's so full of itself. It's terrible. And hopefully this album will fade into the void as soon as possible. So yeah, these are the albums I've heard all year. The worst albums. Comments below, let me know what are your least favorites. Subscribe if you want more. Thanks for watching.